Konnichiwa, hello. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari Show, episode number 21, presented by Heal Tokyo and Heal India. Corporate Insight is our media partner. Today is a beautiful day. It's a totally different topic. It's more about healing through Indian classical music. And today's guest is none other than Dr. Kiran Seth, the founder of Speak Make. So with big applause, let's welcome Dr. Kiran Seth. Namaskar. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari Show. So, sir, the first question would be that who inspired you? Like, you are inspiring all of us around the world for such a great movement. Who inspired you to have this movement started?
It's not one particular thing, but when I was studying at IIT Kharagpur, we used to have this staff member who used to organize a whole night of Indian classical music. It was called the Green Amateurs Night. And we were not interested in this business. What is this But what we were really interested was in seeing whether Nupur had come there or not, whether somebody had come there or not. So we'd be sitting at the back and we would it was more like to know who has come, who has not come. We'd sit down and play cards at the back. We'd go to sleep there. But this business did not we were not interested in it, frankly. When I went abroad to do my PhD after finishing my my BTech, there I saw a small advertisement in the Village Voice, the newspaper Village Voice in New York, which said that Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar and Ustad Zia Fariduddin Dagar were going to give a Dhrupad recital at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in New York. So we said, chalo chalo dekhen, let's go and see. So we actually went to see the program. But what happened that day was something unforgettable, because it was something like a seed which had been put into the soil in IIT Kharagpur came out with one leaf on that day from the ground, and it was a very, very inspiring concert. I still remember the whole concert. I remember what they sang, how they sang. It's like imprinted in my mind.
Which year was it?
1972. 1972. That was the year, and it was like, in science we have this concept of a black box. You know what's coming in, you know what's going out, but you don't know what's happening inside the box. So it was something like that. We walked into the hall and we walked out of the hall 1 inch above the ground, figuratively, and didn't know why it happened. But I said, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, it could happen to Nupur, it could happen to anyone. So there and then we started doing programs in Columbia University, where I was doing my PhD. So any great artist used to go through New York, we used to catch hold of them and request them to perform for the students at Columbia University. Like that, we had Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. I can never forget him, never forget him. He would be playing his sarod like this, and eyes closed, not worried about how many people there in the audience. He was on his own trip. If you want to come, well and good. If not, talalu, bye-bye, no problem. That's the type of musicians we had. Now, those type of musicians, those type of dancers, those type of classical artists are becoming less and less and less. Now the artists, most of the artists, not all, I mean, there are exceptions, but most of them look outward to see how many people there in the audience. They'll wear a nice whatever, and they should look very nice. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that inward journey, it's an inward journey versus an outward, a performance versus an experience.
That's true. So we are missing the devotion these days. So the devotion those time they had, they didn't care about how many people are watching. Like they are totally in bhakti yoga. They are totally in bhakti yoga. They are just devotionally they're playing. So exactly that thing, maybe today's world we are missing everywhere around the world. So then how did you like came up with the name and like, okay, I have to do it. I have to start it from here because this is a super organization now. It's a big organization, right? So then how did you register? Like
the movement, not an organization.
sorry, it's a movement. My apologies. It's a movement.
Like lots of paid employees. We don't even have an office. We have a small little room which has been given by modern school, and we can wind up today if we want. Everybody operates from their home basically. So it's a movement.
That's true. That's true. This is a total movement, but somebody is organizing also. So in that sense, we say this is organization, but organized movement. Very much organized movement. So that is the thing, because this is such an inspirational thing. Today's world, today's youth. Today I was talking to another IITian, and that person was saying, yes, we have the Speak Make Club in our IIT. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk to Kiran sir today. It's such a pleasure. That person, so he was amazed. So that thing you started, such a great movement. So why did you think, no, I have to start it from here, and like I have to make it big? That passion, how, when, especially because now you are a student, you're Columbia University, you are doing like, okay, whoever is coming, but how it became really a movement, from when it became a movement?
I never had this vision of it becoming like such a big thing or any such thing. That was never the aim. It was just like, when you have something which is very, very beautiful, you experience something very beautiful, or you have something which is very tasty or whatever. Whom do you tell? You tell your friend, hey, look, this thing is really good, try it out. So that was the idea behind it. The idea was more to share the experience that I had with other of my friends. And what happened was, when I was sharing it, the sharing went from, it went from flame to flame to flame to flame. So it was never thought of as being, we never thought of it like it's going to become a huge movement or any such thing. But we just were sharing things and seeing that most young people in India had not even heard the names of some of the greatest masters of our country. When I came back to teach, I still remember, it was, purely out of intuition. I didn't know what was happening, as I mentioned to you. It's like intuition. That is something very, very, very powerful. And I want to share it with somebody. When I found that my whole class in IIT Delhi had not even heard the name of one of the greatest sitar players who was alive at that time, Pandit Nikhil Banerjee, I was taken aback. I said, look, you have heard, not only heard the name, you have cassettes of, at that time, I'm talking of Joan Baez, Stevie Wonder, you name it. They had all the, I'm talking of the Beatles, I'm talking of those days. But you have not even heard the names of some of the greatest people of our own country. Should we do something about it? That's how it started. And from there, it went, as I said, from one experience to 10 experiences, 10 experiences to 100, like that. So it blossomed like that. People who were affected by it, they took it to other places. Like Tapasya here, she has been affected by it. She came to India. She went for our convention at JNU. She was so deeply affected. She's running like chicken without head all over, doing it here, there, everywhere. So what I'm trying to say, it's just a matter of you getting touched somewhere inside. This has got great power.
Yes, that's true. Tapasya's tapasya, it has become.
Tapasya, it's become, absolutely.
Yes. So that is actually such a, deep, like I heard from Tapasya also how deep it was. She attended those sessions and she was so much inspired. So your movement is inspiring like millions of people around the world, millions of people, speak Mecca is so much respected. People are really respect that, yes, this is something is really devotional thing is going to happen. It is everything, whatever we do, we have to put our devotion. Otherwise it cannot be that great. So that thing, like any vision, like when you started, have you thought ever, like I have to make it that way, like each part of India or each part of the world it should reach? Have you had that vision?
Yeah, now we are having that vision. It's like, it's you see, what happens is, initially, as I said, it was just sharing. But as it grew, and as people said it's really affected them, then we said, why not we try? And we got enough people. Why not we try to reach every child in the country and even other people in the world? So now our objective is to reach out to every child in India and also children all over the world. Because just like we are using right now, we are on, you are sitting so many thousands of miles away, and I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. This has been made possible by the technology, science and technology of the West. We have also something to contribute to the whole world. And this is one of the great things we can contribute to the world. And if people in the world can bring it into their lives, the concepts, they will find that they will become much, much, much finer human beings, much more fulfilled human beings. Today, so many people are under stress because of this COVID-19. But I'm really telling you, the people who are involved with this sort of a thing will not be stressed. I can assure you, I find myself, pardon me for saying it, I find myself quite at ease. I find myself, I find it, this isolation quite good for myself, and I'm cloistered. In fact, I don't even, I'm giving an interview to you after a long time because of the insistence of tapasya. I'll tell you frankly, because I'm not really so keen to talk too much or do too much, because it's so nice, this quiet. The whole scenario has become where I don't have to go out anywhere. I don't have to go to this meeting, that meeting. I don't have to go to another city for orientation, this, that. So it's a very, if people get associated with things like this, they will be equanimous. They will be able to balance anything that will come, COVID or whatever comes, you'll be able to handle it.
Exactly. I can see that on your face, that you're a very happy person, very satisfied. And the laughter that says that I'm living my life, I'm totally enjoying, fulfilling life, I'm having. That thing actually we want to convey to today's generation. Don't you think today's generation is so much not satisfied with things?
Yes, because we have become, absolutely. You see, if you go outward, then there's no limit. Outward means no limit, in the sense that today you'll say, okay, I want a house. You got a house. Then you say, I want a lovely car. So I get a car. Then I say, I want a plane. I get a plane, whatever. I want to go to Seychelles for a holiday. I want to go to Bermuda. But everything, what happens after some time, you find, so what? So what? On the other hand, if you are able to go on this journey inward, you find that you require less and less. I mean, say, really, you don't require very much to be happy. You don't require to go to Seychelles or Bermuda. You don't require a private aircraft to be happy. So what happens is that the concept of what actually can give you ananda, happiness, has been developed beautifully in this country, in India. And also these ideas have also been in other countries like Japan. Yes, it has also been there, definitely. And so if what we are doing is we are going for the immediate thing. Immediate thing is outward. You have lovely clothes, you have lovely holiday. But if the same thing you can do inside, you will feel as in a state which will be of ananda. That is what's the most important thing.
So today's generation, that ananda they have to experience, and nobody can give that ananda. They have to find that ananda inside them. And that
Agreed.
is, I think, Speak Mac is real vision.
Absolutely. You're right. You hit the nail on the head. all these are different paths to the same goal. The goal is one, ananda. So you go through classical music, you go through classical dance, you go through yoga, you go through meditation. All these roads are going to the same goal. Therefore, you can find a similarity between an Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar Saab singing Dhrupad and a person in Kerala, Guru Amanur Madhav Chakya doing Kudyatam, or Ganga Devi ji doing her Madhubani painting in Madhubani. She is also not concerned about what's happening around. She's doing her painting. So these are all, they are all different roads to the same goal.
Exactly. That's so touching. I think this is definitely the Speak Mac is the vision. Definitely, we are understanding the vision is definitely giving ananda through different ways. There's all the Indian traditional ways. So today's, especially the young generation in India, you know that they're very much they attracted to Western culture. They're very much attracted to Western culture. When we talk about yoga, or when we talk about I'm into yoga, or talk about the classical music, they're more like, okay, are you like after a certain age we have to do that? They have like that kind of concept today's young generation. So that is actually I want you to, because when you started this movement, you were very, I think in your very early age, you started this movement. So that journey, I think today's generation should need to know that that this is, it doesn't have the age. I think ananda should we experience since childhood. That's something we want you to just convey to today's generation.
Yeah, it's not just in India, it's all over the world. For example, I'm even telling you in Japan, you have no kabuki, bunraku. I've seen all of them.
Yes.
And I've
Yes.
seen the great master Kusao Okamoto of No. And I can tell you, No has got a very similar characteristic of going inward. Unless you can have the patience to look at it and go with the artist inward, you cannot actually appreciate it, because outward it's so slow, so slow that you get bored by it. So the young person today, because of everything happening so fast, Twitter, Facebook, tuck, 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 you want everything like that. But
Yes.
in this realm, it cannot be like that. There has to be patience and faith. The two things that are lacking in the young person today. They are much brighter, much smarter, because of Darwin's theory of evolution or whatever, opening up the skies or whatever. But two things which are missing in their lives is a little bit of patience and a little bit of faith. Now, how is that developed? If you see, in India, I grew up in Bengal. And what happened?
Me too.
Oh, very good. So,
what বাংলা বলেন?
আমি বাংলা বুঝতে পারি, একটু বলতে পারি, হ্যাঁ? So what happened was, there in Bengal, mothers would take their children to these whole night concerts. It's literally children. And the children move, they say, "Aak jhapad debo." Right? So what happened was, those children, not all, they all happen to become dancers and musicians and all this. but definitely they became fine human beings, I can assure you. So what happens is the process has to start at that age. We must start presenting all these things at the age when they are, you have even heard of uh, Abhimanyu's story, when not only when they are young, but even in the womb.
The
So
womb, yes.
I'll give you another example, that there was a friend of mine in Kolkata who was in Indian Institute of Management. He was a professor, very practical man. And when his wife became pregnant, he took her to the top gynecologist in Kolkata. And the gynecologist said that for these 9 months, only play classical music in your house. And he said, I did that. And he said, I have 2 children now, they're in their 20s. And both of them, they're not into music, but they are both fine human beings. And he attributed that to that decision which he made of playing classical music when his wife was pregnant. You can just imagine. So that is the power. I'm not saying it just like that. You know what we did? I did a little experiment. We set up a small play school downstairs, in which for 4 years, I was going, before I went to IIT to teach, I would go to the play school. And for 1 hour, with children of 1.5 years to about 4 years, I used to be with them for 1 hour. And I would be introducing them in a very beautiful way, I think. I tried many things. It was like a research project in which we introduced this classical music, and you should have seen. I'm not saying this. In the beginning, the children were very, very fidgety. They're running here, running there. But by the end of the 1 hour, you could see in their eyes that they had the thing that was going like this had come like this. So that is the age in which we have to do this. If we can do it then we will be successful. So I always say that, Spikmeke should go to the play school level, not just what we are doing. I'm trying to say that we should go to the play school level, because the mothers now and parents, I mean, say, have become so busy. They are both working, and the child, who is the guru of the child? The idiot box, or the cell phone or whatever. So whatever they, what comes in all these programs. So that is the type of samskar we are giving them, the values that we are giving them when they are young. That is the mistake that we are making, I think. If we can change that part, you will see, if the child is exposed to classical music right from the beginning, the 1 to 5 years age is critical, in my opinion.
Okay. So 1 to 5 years. So I think, your experience, like you said about Abhimanyu also, we know that Abhimanyu also, what happened, he learned everything from the womb, and your friends, sons, they are also very good human being. I think we have to start from the pregnant women. I think we have to start Spikmake, that having all the club, I think pregnant club, where the people, I think pregnant women, because they are going to produce the country and at large the world's future.
I agree with you. If we can work with pregnant women, nothing like it. The point is, I cannot reach the pregnant women directly. What we can reach is, the first time we can reach a child is in a play school.
Yes.
Talking of practically, the first time that you can reach a child 1-to-1 is in a play school. But if we can reach women, for example, who are pregnant and pass, it's much more difficult, to pass such abstract, subtle, inspiring, and very mystical messages to people. It's very difficult. There are 4 aspects, right, to this. One is very abstract, it's very subtle, it's very, very inspiring, but you have to get that experience to get that inspired. And most importantly, it is very mystical. So for giving that sort of an experience, you have to have somebody who's ready to receive it. And usually, once you are past a certain age, you say, "Bhai, ye to sari cheezein hamare liye nahi hai." It's very difficult to get that sort of a thing into their lives. But the first time you can actually do it practically is when they come into a play school. So you are there and you can try it out with the children in the play school.
Exactly.
Clear?
Yeah, that is totally clear. I think today's viewers also and the people, they should know it is so much enlightening that we can start classical music in this play school. And there are millions of play school in India and around the world, billions of play school. I think this is wonderful, and we should start from there. Not this is as it is not your movement. This is our movement, which you started. I think now we have to take it forward. I'm getting so much inspiration from you, and really trust me, like if I wouldn't have talked to you, maybe speak okay about music, classical, that is a respect. It was coming, yes, a lot of respect for that. But when I started talking to you, I'm feeling goosebumps, like, wow, it's such a great thing. It's it is our responsibility to take it forward. Definitely. So today, sir, when you see that the movement you started from nothing here, so many people are taking it forward. How does it feel? How do you feel?
No, I feel good, but it's not me who's doing it. I am just a I am the chief sevak. That's all. It's not. There are much higher forces at play. It's not that I'm doing it.
No, definitely. You are very kind and you're very modest. I know that there are a lot of people, they are doing.
No. I'm not being modest. I'm not being modest. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling the absolute truth. I'm not saying I'm not being modest. I'm telling you I am just a person. It could have been anyone. I'm very lucky that it was me. That's all. But I'm still a sevak.
So that sevak, how does that sevak feel that this is, blooming everywhere?
I feel good because it's not so much that Spikbeke is blooming everywhere, but the concept of something that is so true, which has been handed down to us through centuries, which has been experimented, is being recognized as being something useful in the lives of young people. That is what makes me feel happy, naturally. It's just like, whenever you experience something that is true, which is actually true, one feels happy. And this is what naturally I'll feel happy about it. But as I said, I'm not the person who's executing it. I am moving my hands and legs and maybe my speaking it out, but I still feel I'm a saver.
Definitely. I think that is the way we should all feel. Why? Like, what is the difference between other movement and Speak Make? You think that Speak Make is everyone, whoever get connected with, they feel really connection. They feel like this is mine. I want to be a volunteer here. Like why that thing came and where that came from?
No, it's very difficult to get volunteers. I think it's much easier to get volunteers for a movement that has got a tangible goal. A tangible goal. For example, if you say, look, we want to educate people, or not educate, let me put it, increase the prosperity in villages, right? So what we'll have pump sets, we will we'll tell them how to do better farming. You'll find you'll get many more volunteers than you get for Speak Becade. Speak Becade is very difficult to get volunteers of the true nature. I'll tell you why. Because what happens is, you might come in for the little bit of glitter and glamour now, because you're now we are known little bit. So you get in touch with top artists, you get in touch with top people in government, top people here, top people there. Most people in Speak Becade initially come in for different reasons. Previously, we had to really work hard to get volunteers. Even now, we are very difficult to get true volunteers who understand what the concept is, actual concept. So I don't think it's fair to say that, of course, people who come in and stay with us, they are really touched when the process of the time taken from the time taken to touch the soul,
Yes.
that takes time. That has got a gestation period. In that journey, many people we lose. Only some people come there who are caught. It's like, it's like in the black hole, there's an event horizon. Now, you might say, look, I want to visit we don't want to visit a black hole, but but suppose I want to go to, the journey towards the black hole will be very tough, because there'll be asteroids, there'll be this, there'll be that. But once you touch the event horizon, you're sucked in. So the touching of the event horizon is very critical. The time taken from your starting of your journey to touch the event horizon, that is very arduous, very difficult. Those who can take that journey, they will be touched, and then they become the real volunteers.
Yes. As you said, very rightly said, that people get connected with it because of the glamour these days, because of the government people they want to get connected with. Very rightly you said. But yes, true volunteers are really very difficult to get.
Very difficult.
Very, like, really devotionally and selflessly they want to do. Only the very rightly you said that going through that difficult path, and then the moment their soul is getting attracted, getting enlightened, I would say, so then only they become like, they don't care about any other things, any glamour, anything. They just do it there for their.
There's a beautiful composition in Drupal, very beautiful composition, which has got the words are Bhool Jat Khan Pan Roop Rang Anaban. That is the state which you reach if you touch the event horizon.
Wow, this is totally devotion. Totally forget. So, have you learned any tradition, any classical music or anything?
Yes, I've learned Drupad. I learned Drupad from Ustad Aminuddin Dagar. One of the reasons for my coming back to India was to learn. I was working in Bell Labs, one of the topmost labs in the world. After finishing my PhD, I joined Bell Labs, and I returned to India. I was given an invitation to join IIT Delhi. I took up that because I wanted to learn Drupal. One of the reasons was to learn Drupal. So I learned Drupal for little, delta tending to 0. From Ustad Aminuddin Dagar, all the 7 Dagar brothers, I learned little. I learned from all of them.
So, sabse thoda, and then 100.
You see, for that you have to really learn. I got the flavor of it, but to really learn, you have to, I'd have to leave IIT, I'd have to leave everything else. Only then can you really learn, because you can't learn anything of depth You can't say I'll learn this also of depth and that also of depth and that also. That's not possible. So what what I ended up getting was a flavor of what this whole realm is about.
Wow. Anything else apart from Drupad? Anything else like yoga? I think you started Speakmaker from the classical music. And when did you add yoga and other things?
Yoga before classical music.
Oh, okay.
With yoga, the Hatha Yoga thing, I've been doing yoga since the last I think 57 years, 57, 58 years.
You are really yogi.
No, it's a fantastic thing. Hatha Yoga, two things which are very near to me is yoga and this Drupad, classical music. These two things, because they've helped me a lot in whatever I am today. These two have helped me a lot.
So that is the thing, like yoga, what kind of yoga do you do? Hatha Yoga or meditation also?
Hatha Yoga, pranayam and meditation. All three. It is all three. Hatha Yoga is actually just the starting.
Yes.
Slowly you move into pranayam. Slowly from pranayam you move into meditation. In fact, a great yogi will not do any asanas. He or she will just be in an absolutely still state. The whole Hatha Yoga, in my opinion, is just to get your body and mind in control so that you can do meditation. So if you can get your body and mind in control, if you can still sit in one posture for many hours at a time, I think that is the fundamental aim of yoga, to make you sit in one posture. If you can do that, then you don't require any Hatha Yoga. Everything will just be like that. It'll be like a meditation. That is the idea behind the whole idea of the Hatha Yoga. Great Hatha Yogis at a later stage don't do any asanas. They are just in a state of absolute tranquility with in a state of meditation. As I said, all these things are roads to the same goal. The same thing is in classical music. The same thing is in
different destination same.
Destination same. Now we are all different. Our temperaments are different. Some may like classical music. Some may like classical dance. Some may like Hatha Yoga. So whichever one you like, it doesn't make a difference. That's why India is such a great country, because it has recognized that, I'm saying it had recognized the fact that there are multiple roads to the same goal. Therefore, to me, Jesus Christ, or to me, Lord Buddha, or to me, Prophet Muhammad, are as important as any of our gods and goddesses that are there, because they are also representatives of the same thing. They're different roads to the same goal.
So since you are from Bengal, I think you know Ramakrishna Paramhansadev.
Oh yes, my great fan.
He said he was such an, like today's world he will be called illiterate, but he said definitely, and he was a great yogi. He was such a enlightened soul, and he said "Jato moth tato path." Jato moth tato path means there are many paths are there, because there are many opinions.
Correct.
But the destination is going to the same place.
Correct.
So, yeah. So this land, India, is really mystery. It's so much to offer to the world.
That's it. Though it's changing a lot, unfortunately. It's changing a lot.
So why it is changing a lot? Why do you think so? Like, why it is happening?
Because you see, when you have an ice cream, the ice cream is, you can taste it there and then. You can't say, look, you have this, the ice cream is going, you taste this, but you're going to get the taste of the ice cream for 10 years after this. Who will listen to you? Tell me. Unless you're taught that since you were in the womb or from ages 1 to 5. Unless you're taught that look, you have to wait. For the best things in life, you have to wait. You have to wait. You have to wait. If you're taught that, then you learn how to wait. Today the children don't know how to wait. They will switch channels, tick, 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 tick. So you can't switch a channel here. You have to wait. There's a great deal of emphasis on patience in our heritage, because the things come in very slowly, very slowly.
I feel like just listening to you, just keep listening to you. It's such a pleasure. I feel like you should travel more, especially in India, and give these lectures everywhere. After retiring from IIT, you should do it.
I have retired from IIT, but I still stick to IIT because I love mathematics. I love mathematics. I'm still teaching.
So this is the thing.
Even maths is very.
Yes,
even
please.
mathematics. Even mathematics. Real mathematics is very abstract, very subtle, very inspiring, and also very mystical. Mathematics is like that.
Wow.
The concept of infinity, in maths is the concept of the infinite, the concept of the all-pervasive, and the whole mathematics when we go into the infinite domain, the mathematics changes. The whole mathematics changes. So that is the power of maths. Why is maths like the king, queen, jack of all sciences? It's because of this. In fact, there's a beautiful saying in our heritage also, which links it up. Just see. Om Purnamadaya Purnamidam Purnat Purnamajachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. That is the concept of infinity. You take out anything, it's still the whole. You put in anything, it's still the whole. You cut it up, it's still the whole. That's the concept of infinity in maths. So maths is a beautiful subject. Beautiful.
Maths is spirituality as well.
I'm telling you, it is. It is. Definitely. If you go deep into mathematics, it's like going deep into classical music. That's why you find Einstein used to play the classical violin. That's why you find Professor Dr. C.V. Raman did such a lot of research on the veena. That's why you find that Raja Ramannaji used to play the classical piano. That's why you find that the person who got the Fields Medal, the highest award in maths in the world, Professor Manjul Bhargav, he's a concert playing Indian classical musician. He says, when I get stuck in my maths, I go to my classical music. When I get stuck in my classical music, I go to my maths. Number theory, he's a great number theorist. So there's a big correlation.
Wow. I think, this definitely, today's generation who are preparing for their, G or engineering or medical or those exams, they should definitely listen to you, and they should just work on their inside thing rather than outside. I think then we can change not only India, we can change the world. We can bring more peace. We can spread the real meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And so it's really wonderful and so much, enlightening. And now we'll be starting that. Congratulations to all of us, since you are the chief Sevak. So that's why, congratulations to you too for having the Japan chapter. And this is wonderful. The Japanese culture and the Indian culture, from thousands of years we have history, and now it is Pikmak is taking the initiative of connecting it again. So it's so beautiful. So we would like to know like your vision for Japan chapter. Like all the volunteers here, we all love to know.
See, what I would say is that first and foremost, the Japanese should try to incorporate the same module like we are doing to highlight no, kabuki, bunraku, especially no. I tell you, no is a beautiful form. It's a very introspective form, and it has got the same 4 characteristics which I mentioned. It's very abstract, subtle, inspiring, and mystical. And if they can push this thing forward, that would be beautiful. Number one. Number two, you also would like to know what are these experiments which have been done in other parts of the world. And one of them, very, very important experiment is that which has been done in India. That is of our classical music, because our classical music is unique. There is no other place in the world that has got classical music of the type that we have. You see, and what is that? Why is it unique? The unique is not because it's different, but the unique is because it's philosophically, it's very powerful. See, I'll just relate a small little incident. Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar, who must have been one of the greatest musicians that I have come across, he one day asked me, he said, look, Kiran, everywhere in the world, there are 7 notes. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni, do re mi fa so la ti, right? And there are 5 additional notes. So what has been done is, in one scale, you are breaking it up into 12 frequencies, right? I'm just interpreting it. So then he said, but in India, we at one time used to divide that scale into 50 parts. Today, even today, some of the great masters, we divide it into 22 parts. There are 22 shrutis. So he said, why? Why should you do it? I said, aap bataiye. So he said, look, if I sing Sa Komal Re, and then I sing Sa Ati Komal Re, will you be able to figure out? I said, aap gaiye, you sing, let me hear. So he sang. So I couldn't make out. So I said, mujhe to nahi pata chala, I couldn't make out. So he said, you couldn't make out because your buddhi, your mind, is mota, is thick. The whole idea of this, making the shrutis, you'll say, oh, Ustad Aminuddin Dagar thinks he's great because he's singing 22 shrutis. He says, not that. The idea is, if you can make out the difference between Komal Re and Ati Komal Re, you see how well you'll do in mathematics. You see how well you'll do in everything. Because he said all great things are hidden. They are not available. If every great thing was visible, everybody would have been great. Why is Einstein great? Because he could look and search for something that was not visible to everybody, and he found it, and he gave it to the world. Similarly, here in India, what we have done, we have found that there are notes which you can give in such a way. This is like training your mind to go into more and more subtle domains. What do you require to do? You're training your mind by knowing what is the difference between Komal Re and Ati Komal Re to go into very, 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 very subtle domains. When you go into very, 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 very subtle domains, you see truth. That's what he used to say. So that is the idea. These sort of philosophical ideas, how we must give it to our younger generation. The classical music Why is it important for you to do it, to not to become a musician, to become a good mathematician, to become a good whatever you want to do? If you do it, you find your mind will become so subtle, so sharp. It will go into domains which others cannot see. And that is the greatness of our contribution, which can be something which Japanese can also learn. I'm saying Japanese have got many, many subtle things. They are very, very subtle. They have got so many beautiful, their tea ceremony, there's so many things which are very, very beautiful. So we can learn from them and they can learn from us. As I said, the more number of roads we have, the more chances are that more young people will reach the goal. Because the less roads there are, the less chances there are of people reaching the goal. Because the road is so fine, it's so fine that your mind has to be, it has to be really attuned to reach that goal. So if you have more roads, there's a greater chance of the young person reaching the goal. So therefore, we must learn the Japanese roads, the Japanese must learn the Indian roads, and all the children must learn both the roads.
So beautifully explained. So beautifully explained. I'm just, I'm definitely a big fan of, Indian tradition, Indian classical music, yoga. I do yoga. I'm spreading yoga. But the way you explained, I'm falling in love again with Indian philosophy. Now, in
I can't hear you.
No, I'm not mute.
Now you're okay. Now
okay.
you're
Okay, so the excitement you have on your face, just like a child, like I'm still ready to work, kind of, that's giving me so much inspiration. Like Nupur, sometimes you feel tired. I feel tired sometimes. I get so much, when I get negative vibes from people, I said, no, I don't want to do that. And you are, after so many years of so many different kind of volunteers you came across, and still so much excitement, so much positivity. I feel like, no, you are giving me so much inspiration today. I'm so grateful. Really, I'm so grateful. So in my show, we do one rapid fire round. Just ask a little bit, few personal questions. So that with that we'll be ending. So your first question would be, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food is I like South Indian food.
Okay.
I also like very much like Bengali food, like doi mach.
Doi mach.
Though I'm a vegetarian now, but I remember doi mach very much. And that is one thing which I won't forget.
That's great. So your favorite person, do you have any favorite person in this world? Because you met so many.
I would name 7 favorite persons. 7.
Please do. Please do.
There are, and whom I remember, I would say, let me say 8, whom I remember every morning. Every morning,
okay.
I say namaskar to them. The first is whom you already mentioned, Swami Ramakrishna. Second is Ramana Maharishi. The third is Nizamuddin Aulia. The fourth is Saint Francis of Assisi. The fifth is Guru Nanak Dev Ji. The sixth is Mother Teresa. And the seventh is Mahatma Gandhi. And the eighth are the 7 Dagar brothers, headed by Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar.
Wow. Wow.
I do my pranam every morning before I start my riyaz. I do my pranam to them. Because
what do you think about today's music, today's Indian music, the pop music, film music?
There's no problem. You see, you can hear all the pop music, all the film music. Every music has its own place, right? For entertainment, sure. Bollywood music, Hollywood music, all Britney Spears, all these are very nice for entertainment. But entertainment has its place and elevation has its place. We should know when we are being entertained, listen to all of them. Lady Gaga, listen to all of them, no problem. It'll be wonderful. When you want to meditate, then you have to listen to our classical arts. That's it.
Great. 3 things that you haven't done yet you want to do from now.
Actually, I'm quite fulfilled. I'm really telling you. I don't feel that I can go today. I'm ready to leave this world today because I feel that I feel that I've had whatever experiences that one would like to have, I've had. However, I would like to have that experience. If you ask me what experience would I really, really like to have, I'd like to have that experience which Swami Ramakrishna told Vivekananda. When Swami Vivekananda told him, "Have you ever seen God?" So Swami Ramakrishna said, "Yes, I see him all the time. I'm seeing him right now even." Now that sort of a thing I've not had yet. I would like to have that experience where I can be seeing whatever this infinite thing is there all through. You see, what happens is that we do get glimpses of it. All of us are able to go into what I call this alpha domain and get glimpses of this. But our entry and exit is random. We don't have control over it. A person like Swami Ramakrishna had control over it. He could go there and just sit down there and keep watching. I'd like to be able to do that.
You are such a great combination of science and spirituality. And Kiran sir, it's not, I'm so much enlightened today after talking to you. You cannot imagine so much. I heard that people get so much energy from you. I'm so many miles away from you, but I'm getting so positive energy and so much inspired that yes, a lot of things to do for the society and for through our culture, which can teach people spirituality also, because spirituality, I think, which we all need in our lives, and we can get the mission, the movement you have started. I'm really grateful to you, Kiran sir. And last, the message for youth, the people, and especially the youth, Indian youth in Japan, they're born and raised, and India as well, for everyone. Special message for them.
My message is that you people are, as I said, much, much brighter than we were when we were your age. You're much smarter, brighter. You know much, much more. Only 2 things are lacking in your lives. If you can bring them in, you will be a 1-2 combination. That is a certain degree of patience and a certain degree of faith. These 2 things. That's my message.
That's wonderful, and I hope that today's youth will follow it and they will make their life more beautiful, because this is for their own life, fulfilling life. And so I just can't, take my eyes off that such a childlike you are, and so much knowledge inside, but you are excited all the time, and your face says you are fulfilled. Your life is so fulfilling, and I really want to have that kind of life from now. Thank you so much, and it was so pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye. All the best, Nupur. All the best.
Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
So that was the Nupur Tewari Show, episode number 21, and I'm sure you're very much motivated, and from today itself, we're going to work unconditionally for the society. So this is our 21 episode. We have 3 more episodes to end this year, and we have just started. Next week, I'll be back with another dynamic guest, As I always say, please do support us because your support really means a lot to us. Before I see you next week, do take care of yourself and love yourself too. Subratri, good night, Yasminasai. Namaste.